Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 here in the northwest section of the map, ending with Team 2 in the southeast. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. We have enough time to introduce and talk about that early action play. Starting with the southernmost player on Team 1, it is BRSDCCC97. I have not been able to find a way to change the setting for the text, so I do apologize in the onset of the video. Of course, all the names are listed on the scoreboard, but it is kind of nice to just refer to the name underneath the com. And his is Carlos PT. At least I think that's how you pronounce his name with the lead speech. Going first line as a Seraphim in Royal Blue. He is a 1400. BRS is a 1900. Highest rate player on Team 1 in Tropical Ocean Blue, going Seraphim as well. Starting in the, not starting, but continuing on here, we have another Seraphim player here for Team 1. It is the 1400 of Vinyl 117, a fan of the Halo series. He is in Regal Purple. And again, he is a 1400 going first land. To his east in Emerald Green, the player responsible for the coloration of the names on the scoreboard. It is Crusader Nova going first land as a UEF. He is a 1600. He's going first land. And in the rear guard is the Cybran player here for Team 1. He is Signal Runner going first air. Would make sense because he is an air player. Again, 1400 in Pack Bad Yellow. And is a Cybran. So for Team 1 side of things, they have a 3 Seraphim in the south with a UEF in the east and a Cybran. Cybran A air player. There we go. Starting here in the southwest side of things for Team 2, we have Recather going first land, second air as a Aeon here. I think he's one of 2 Aeons here in the game. He is a 1600 in lightish red pink. To his east in Emerald Gray, we have the UEF player of Blarg 6516. Maybe he's a fan of the Red versus Blue series. Going first land. And again, he is a 1200. To his north, we have the Snow White player. Blending into his environment is Sanoman going first land as a Snow White Cybran player, as I said, as a 1600. Going second air and then land all day. To his east, the other the other Aeon player here for Team 2. It is Spectre Slave 137 going first land, second land as well, maybe even third and fourth air with that positioning of the P-Gens. He is a 1500 and he is in Batman Gray. And in the rear guard air slot here for Team 2, in my favorite color and faction combination, it is Hyper 2001 going first land, second air as a UEF in Forest Green. He is a 1600, tied for the highest rank on Team 2 with Sanoman and Recather. So for 10 players currently still on the map, obviously not every player is going to make it to the end, but for 10 players to scoop up in total for the mass, we have Iron Reclaim. If my button will work, there it goes. 69. Nice. 1,000 Reclaim, which means for 10 players, that is close to 7,000 reclaim per player. Not 7,000 reclaim overall. 7,000 reclaim per player. A lot of it everywhere. I have not changed the text icons. I forgot to do that between the cast from yesterday and today. Apologies for that. But a lot of it is residing in the nice cut here down the middle. And let's go ahead and talk about mass point layouts. Still have not found a way to make those icons bigger. We have a quad mechs down here in the south for Recather to grab. We do have another quad mechs here. And let's see, where is there another one? Again, it's a Snow White environment. And I actually, I don't want to do it right now. I'm going to change the settings. Maybe we'll do that later. Or maybe someone in the comments will tell me what that setting is. We do have some more mass points here. And we do have any more in the northeast? I don't think so. Again, it was a lot easier on the other map when it was red. And we do have another quad mechs over there as well. So at least 4 quad mechs, a couple of mechs on the upper plateaus in the northwest and southeastern sections of the map for those air players to grab. But besides that, let's move this game back up to 0 speed and see where those comms are going. 2 comms here. 2 of them are Seraphim, Vinyl, and Carlos moving down this western side. We do see Team 1's BRS trying to, again, scoop up all of that reclaim here in the middle. And in that mass, we have about 5,000, and he's trying to deny that for his opponent, or grab it himself and deny it. The 2-for-1 special here against Rekather. And it is Seraphim versus Aeon. Aeon a little bit less hit points than the Seraphim. But, early on, 3.5 minutes, it's not really a huge concern if you have 500 additional hit points or less than your opponent. If it's 2,000 between the UEF and the Cybran variety, it might make a difference. But 500 is nothing really to scoff at. It does look like Plasma is being exchanged, at least from Rekather's perspective. BRS is kind of just going to sit here and, again, scoop up all of that reclaim, going for the higher valued ones first, and then obviously trying to move as little as possible to be able to be very, very efficient with that mass scooping up. We do see a couple of scouts here for Team 1's Nova to get a nice little readout on what his opponent is doing. But that is a lot of spam coming out from Spectre Slaves' base. A lot of T1 flares trying to move in. Again, just trying to overwhelm his opponent. And with a couple of Mech Marines himself and a Snoop, that is not enough to stop the absolute horde that is starting to accumulate in the Middle East, because it's a huge lane here on this eastern side. Drops coming out here from Vinyl to assist with the reclaim efforts. Those engineers actually building a PD to defend, and those Mantis actually going after those engineers. Looks like 2 of them will be killed off, but that PD does get finished off, which means Team 1 will be able to grab this section of the mass here and deny a decent amount of reclaim. You can even see that number starting to, again, favor Team 1, almost 10k versus 6.2, 6.3, 6.4. There it goes. Then it goes 10k. So 6.5 essentially versus 10k here at 5 minutes in this game. So Team 1 leading that reclaim game. But it does look like Rekather and Team 1's BRS are having some words. And it does look like a land facility being built to try to, again, mess with the pathing here for Rekather. And BRS is pretty low. He's below 50% of his hit points, has no veterancy on board that commander. And we have, of course, Rekather. He has no veteran. Oh, he has 20, mass killed, but there are some Aurora coming in to go after BRS. He needs some assistance in this side of the map, or he's going to be the first kill in this game, sub 10 minutes, sub 7 minutes if he keeps going this way. He does have a couple of units inbound to assist, and still trying to do that land facility build to, again, just annoy that pathing. But BRS is now in the red, sub 1,800, and dropping very steadily. Team 2's Rekather not allowing him to escape. Units trying to cut off and body block Rekather. And we do see BRS dropping below 1,000. I think there was a T1 bomber overhead. Yeah, there is one inbound here for Rekather as well. Here it comes. Will it get the calm? No. 250 hit points left. I think 2 more bombers ought to do it. Team 1 does have some interceptors nearby. And BRS needs to just go straight into the water up here in the northwest. He needs to get out of there because he's going to be a huge target. He is the highest rated player in the game and on Team 1, so they definitely don't want to lose a high rated player and have a huge gaping hole in the defenses on this western side. You can just see the line of units inbound here for Rekather. He wants this position. He wanted the comm dead, but if he'll take the position at a minimum. We do see Team 2's Pilar coming in to assist Sanoman's defenses. Sanoman is getting a nice little small fire base here. Team 1 is actually building the base on top of the reclaim, but most of that reclaim has already been scooped up. It's now just a couple 200s in there in the mix, and mainly it's just a couple of T1 units. We do see a couple of engineers were dropped here by Team 1 Signal Runner, and they're going to come and assist the BRS's commander. Nano repair started immediately. We do see the assistance here from Signal Runner. I love that assistance here, trying to get that comm up very, very quickly. If Team 2 notices that, though, he will push for it. And Team 2 definitely notices it. And that bomber is inbound. Going to go after those engineers first. Oh, it's going to get the... Actually, it's going to target the comm. 600 hit points. And that upgrade is progressing not pretty slowly. But again, interceptors do come in. Bombs drop once again. Oh, dropping below 500. It is very close. I might just have to just split it and see if this comm survives. Let's see. Go over here. Just watch the comm, and we can go over here. We do see Team 2 Spectre Slave pushing up with, again, a ton. That is a metric ton of spam here. Most of it being those flares, but there are a couple of fervors in there. And are there any... I would assume there's a couple of tanks. Yeah, it's a couple of Aurora tanks in there. And we do see a base in the northeast for Signal Runner as well. He's pumping out his own T1 spam, and he's actually hanging out Crusader Nova. He's going for probably a gun upgrade or T2. One or the other. I highly ever see Nano built first by a UEF commander. Let's see what it was. It was Gun. It was the Zeph amp. And Signal Runner kind of hanging out with him in the east. Team 2's air player of Hyper hasn't left his main base. Going to be focusing on going for just teching up. He's at T2. He's going for those T2 P-Gens now, and we'll probably get to T3 probably at about 11 and a half, maybe 12 minutes. But it does look like BRS has that Nano and Gun upgrade, getting 70 hit points a second, already in the yellow. And he's going to start spamming out some T1 facilities to deal with this incoming push of a lot of Aurora spam. They are tinfoil Auroras, but, you know, again, 1,000 of anything will kill anything. So everybody has to be on their tippy toes about that. Venom in the middle, pushing back Team 1's stare from commanders of Vinyl and Carlos in the middle. And we do see Blarg does have Gun, and I think I can actually split it, or not split it, but end the split now since the comm of BRS is not under danger of dying. He's back in the yellow and is actually, again, 70 hit points a second, very quickly regenning. We do see a couple of squads of units dispatched here from Carlos to move into the southwest. We do see Sandman taking the advantage of trying to push in, but then diverts southward to go after Carlos's commander. Carlos going straight after Sanoman's commander. T2 versus Gun, and T2 will immediately build the Uthashala, but T1 spam coming in definitely will push him back in that regard. There is an Uthashala back here from Vinyl, but it will force some units to fall back, but it does look like that comm of Carlos is being surrounded at the current moment. Carlos needs to head back. Vinyl actually heading back as well. It could be a 2v1 operation here, and Sanoman is pushing back Carlos in the southwest. It does look like Rekather is being slowly pushed back by BRS's commander. He's back in the green, and again, very, very quickly now up to 76 hit points per second regen. And it does look like Carlos is... he is taking out the Aurora, not the Aurora, the Mantis here from Sanoman. He is in the red. If he can get out of range of Sanoman's commander, which he's not... it's going to be close. If the units can body block Sanoman's commander enough, it might be enough. He's dropped below 1,500. Does look like he is out of range. Well, he's definitely out of range with that amount of spread. But Sanoman is being hit by a ton of fire from Vinyl. He has Gun and T2, a little chunky of a commander. Rekather down here still holding the fort in this middle pass. A lot of dead units here trying to build a T1 facility to pump out some engineers or just spam. But BRS is not letting go of this position. He wants it. And it does look like Vinyl, again, will be able to take out Sanoman. There he goes. 11 minutes in this game. Team 2 suffers the first casualty of the game by Vinyl. And we do see Blarg coming in to assist with Nano and Gun. But it does look like, again, Team 1, it looks like they're going to be on the retreat for now. A couple of bombers over the top and a nice Janus over the top going after Carlos. He's dropping in below 500 hit points. He is repping up 26 hit per second, but I think 2 more. Oh, he's trying to get out of range of that Janus. He can dodge them, not indefinitely, though. Interceptor's trying to deal with this, but Carlos is still dodging constantly. Oh, that's not a nice engagement for him. Will it kill him off? No, he's still 300 hit points. Team 1 still pushing back against Team 2. That Janus needs to be taken out. Gunship's online here for Vinyl going after Blarg. Blarg pushed forward. Oh, but he got caught by that T2 PD, and he might be taken out right here. Janus coming back, rotating once again, and those bolters coming in, and we'll get a nice kill here for Vinyl. Essentially a double kill in the middle. Will that Janus take out that commander of Carlos? He suffered. Oh, that was a lot of hit points. Oh, he's trying to build a T1 PD to protect himself, but there's another Janus inbound. It's kind of hover bombing here. Team 1 Interceptor does get... actually, no. It looks like it is not full share. It is partial share in this game, which means all of the units for Team 2's Blarg have been taken out, but the structures remain. At least that's what I think. I mean, nothing else shot at those Janus, especially that one just kind of just hovering there. But Carlos essentially should do the same thing that BRS did. Retreat back to base, get some assistance, engineers, whatever the case may be, and build a Nano on board that commander. I think he has to get rid of his... no, it's in the middle slot, so he should be fine. Pings do go down. Nano... I don't like how forward and nothing protecting him there is. There is a strap bomber inbound. Carlos is at 2,000 hit points. It's going straight for him. Oh, this is not good. They know where the comm is. There it goes. Bomb drops. Is it a kill? Yes, it is. One shot kill. Well, technically one shot kill for that ambassador. It does get singed on its way out. But now Team 2 fights back against Team 1. It's now a 4v3 at 13 minutes in this game. That was a nice kill by Hyper 2001. Vinyl says, forget you, says Bomber. It looks like the Bomber is now targeting the comm of Vinyl, building some T1 PD to protect himself. And it actually just gets shot out of the sky anyways. No, it's back. No, that's a different one. That is a different one. But Team 1's BRS severely pushing back Rekkathur. Rekkathur didn't go for range or speed or any sort of those normal Aeon upgrades. And with BRS's 4-star veterancy commander, Nano and Gun, it's not going good. We have those T1 Zui coming in. It's hard to actually hit a moving target with those things, but they're going after stationary targets. Definitely a better use of their talents. T1, not T1, but 1 veterancy, close to 2. He might get a rank in veterancy to survive, but BRS is not letting up. Does get a rank in veterancy, but he's not stopping anytime soon. T1 Bombers overhead trying to slow down BRS's commander. But again, 96 hit points a second. There is a ambassador online, but it does look like BRS is going to go for the kill anyways. He does drop into the yellow, but he was kind of annoyed. He had to fall back to the yellow to begin with, or red, actually, earlier on. But Rekkathur will die here. BRS is just going to take the kill and be happy with it. Oh, come out of range for a second. Overcharge, and there he goes. Rekkathur is down here. It's now a 4v2 at 15 minutes in this game. T3 Strat Bombers running around the comm of BRS. He's again at 4,500 hit points left. Bombs drop, takes his hit points down to 1,700. Janus over the top, and the Strat Bomber will seal his fate. Didn't even need it, but the Janus did the job. And Rekkathur gets, actually he gets a kill beyond the grave here. Just barely before those units transferred over, it looks like. Or those actually died, or whatever the case may be. We can see all those units should die. Yep, there they go. Yep, it is a partial share to be confirmed. But that was a nice, again, quote-unquote murder-suicide here for this game. And at 15 minutes, half of the players are dead. So not only is this game a prime example of you can die before 20 minutes, it is possible that half of the players in the game can die before 20 minutes. That is why you have to be very, very vigilant about T3 Strat Bombers, because a couple of those things will ruin your day. See, I didn't go Aeon this game. I think that's a comment about how he normally goes Aeon, so he didn't go this game, and now he's doing really well, I guess. There are a couple of... Actually, that's a lot of T2 units here. Parashields, a couple, like, decent amount of pillars, and some Titans as well. T3 already online and being pumped out here by Crusader Nova in the north. Team 2's last remaining Seraphim commander of Vinyl takes control over everything in the southwest here for Team 1. By the way, I do love the... I mean, he probably did get control over it from Rekkathur, but I just love that there's just 2 T1 mechs down here, because why not? And the benefit of having all of these little icons is I can actually see where all the quad mexes, trimexes are. I like to talk about that, obviously, in the initial setup of the game, but at least I can see them now. Looks like I didn't miss any huge ones. I mean, that's not really a trimex. That's definitely a quad mex. But it does look like a couple of units outbound on the eastern side here for Signal when they're going after mass assassination. Takes out a radar. All of these units, and when I say all, I literally mean 90% of them, are moving into the east to try to cut off these T1 spam units from... I mean, you don't need all of these units. Send a couple of Blazes or send a couple of Aurora to chase these down and call it a day. But all of these units now from Team 1 Signal Run are getting a lot of room to breathe. And now units inbound here from Crusader Nova getting a lot of room to push back against Team 2 on this eastern side of the map. Team 1's Vinyl not giving up his Venn diagram position, using the ability of shields, of those dual shields to cover him, giving him an additional 26,000 hit points on board that commander on top of the already 16,000 that he already has. You know, that's one way to look at it. It's technically everything underneath that shield has an additional 16,000, but it's all shared. So do they? No. But do they? Yes. So kinda. That's just like to say that's the most important target underneath those shields, so that's the thing that gets it, kind of thing. But Strat Bombers come in, very expensive use to deal with a couple of T1 units, but I mean, if it works, don't break it kind of thing. It works. But we do see a counterattack in the east there. All of that spam we saw chasing down those Mantis, coming back in, taking out T1 Mechs in the east, and it's going to hook left and take out this firebase. The firebase here wasn't really going to last very long anyways. It was mainly of a, oh, there's there's 4 Mechs here that I want to get. All 4 of them are now T2 Mechs, which means that's an additional 24 mass per second. That's a ton of mass, especially at 18 minutes. Definitely worth the investment. Granted, now Team 2's large T1 spam and a couple of T2 units are just going to run that place over, but it was good for a while it lasted kind of thing. I like this 1 Mechs right here that Team 1 hasn't taken. But a lot of spam is coming on the southwestern side here for Team 1's Vinyl. Team 2 is mounting a nice amount of forces to combat that. They are Harbingers versus... Actually, those are Ilshis. Those are not what I wanted to look at. There's a Volthru sitting on the ground, and there's a Lightning Tank and an Otham. So, in this regard, definitely Team 2's Hyper 2001 can push severely more, but he's probably microing a lot of other things. Of course, he has separate... I love this. He has a backup T3 air facility headquarters just in case his main one goes down. I love it, and it's also way far away just in case artillery tried to go after it. Love to see it. He's building a nice air grid here. 19 and a half minutes in this game. Team 1's air player. Again, he doesn't have the luxury of triple base. So it's going to be a little bit slower to respond in that regard, but he does have a nice facility up here just to kind of separate it from the land side of things, and obviously to go after the mixes up top. Defend only, says Carlos, and that's definitely the best way to play that. He doesn't want to send all of his units. I mean, he could try to go in, but there is a nice squad of some Harbingers here in the south engagement zone. There are a couple of these Mongisin. They don't have a lot of hit points, but they definitely have the range, especially on the... Look at that range on those Harbingers. And those are T2 units. I wouldn't consider them T2.5 just because they're severely weak. They're a couple of shots and they're dead. If they were maybe 1,300 hit points, maybe, just because of the wide range that they have. And it's not they're not the best unit. They have to be microed a lot more heavily than Ilshis and Obsidians have to be. But we do see the couple of T2 facilities still online, and T1 still online here for Signal Runner, so he can rebuild and hold that position for the time being. Hyper 2001 does make sense. He's on triple base, builds the first experimental of the game at 21 minutes, and it is a Colossus using that Aeon Tech to his advantage, pushing back the western side here for Team 1. There's a lot of Othams and Ilshis in the mix, so I, again, love the mix of units, love the Lightning Tanks. Would like to have seen some shields, just again assist with defensive measures. You can see the Harbingers starting to rip through those Ilshis and those Harbingers in large numbers. But with that Colossus online, it's definitely going to favor Team 2, most definitely. There is a nice line of Ilshis on this eastern side, but that Colossus will rip through those like tissue paper. They do not have a lot of hit points comparatively. And of course, it being a snow map, a Colossus inverts its laser to be seen. And it actually, if you notice, if I run my my little drawing tool, you actually can see that it turns blue, kind of like a nice little stitch blue. Yeah, that's about stitch blue. It's definitely more stitch blue than it is royal blue, that's for sure. But that Colossus is not stopping. All of the units here from Team 1 are regrouping here, but this isn't enough. This isn't enough units, especially with the amount of Harbingers back here. I would have loved to see some AA in the mix here for that group of forces. Of course, due to the fact that Team 1 has Air Force, I think Team 2 might be in the advantage in that. But because Team 1 does have access at least to T3 tech, they can build some gunships and take that out. Not super quickly, but enough to be annoying. And if it's enough to be annoying, it's, again, annoying. And one Volthru, again, will take a while to chew through those hit points. And they are doing more damage than the Colossus is repping back up, but that can change, especially if it gets up to 5-star efficiency, where it might not really make the difference. It might just be kind of net zeroing out. But I don't see any sort of other spicy... I guess it's only 22 minutes. It's not that spicy. And speaking of 22, 23 minutes, let's talk about the game overall. Team 1 has 3 players left. Team 2 has 2 players left. Team 2's air player of Hyper has 3 bases, and Spectral Slave has 2. And Team 1's player of Vinyl has 3 bases due to the fact that his 2 other Seraphim compatriots have bit the dust. Team 2 pushing back against Team 1 on the southern side with a Colossus and a Harbinger mix. Again, we'd love to see some AA. But in terms of mass per second, Team 1 at 922 versus Team 2's 800. Very surprising considering Team 2's players, they have 2 players left. They have 3 bases and 2 bases respectively. That's a lot of mass to be scooping up. But Team 1's Vinyl also has triple base. But does, again, kind of balance out the game at least a little bit. And in terms of map control, Team 2 is 55%-ish. Team 1 at 45. Map control is very fluid, especially in this, mid-game stage. So it's kind of hard to really pinpoint who has what in terms of especially the middle. But we'll see how that goes on here between Team 1 and Team 2. And I think that's comms left. Team 1 at 3, Team 2 at 2. Let's go see what this Colossus is doing on this western side. Team 3 land headquarters is going to go down. Of course, there's another one back here as well. That's all Seraphim, so they all share the headquarters and the lot. It's really easy to micro units when all of them are the same faction. There are shortcuts for like all air forces, all ground forces, but it's really easy to just double click on a unit and everything of that unit in view is highlighted. Chicken has been just completed for Vinyl. He needs to send that over here. 4 or 5 Vinyls. 4 or 5 Voltus are not enough to stop this Colossus. They've taken out all the other support, which is good. But this is the main threat. Colossus actually stops for a second, takes out the T3 mechs. You could go after the mass fabs, but they're not. Looks like a couple of Corsairs come in from Team 1, Signal Runner as well. And that Chicken is going to move in. Did those mechs buy enough time for that Colossus to not kill off this air grid? And it does look like it is going to focus the Chicken, at least temporarily. And will it go after the air grid? It's going to go after the P-Gens. First one does get taken out. Half the air grid is down. Second P-Gen will get taken out. And all of that air grid is down. Also, defenses are down as well. The Colossus does get taken out, of course, but... that is 15,000 hit point, 15,000 mass, but the mass killed definitely in favor of that Colossus, most definitely here for Team 2. We do see another attack in the south by Hyper 2001. He does have another Colossus online, so he lost one, built another one, and he's building more as we speak. And it's about to stand up as well. It's in the green. Team 2's Hyper 2001 is pumping those things out. And is building a ton of defenses down here. This is his front line, essentially. And then he's sending forces out. The only downside with that is if Team 1 retakes this territory, all the mass that's there, which he's currently scooping up, will fall into Team 1's hands. So he has to be very proactive with reclaiming. Because, again, the more mass you give to your opponent, the more mass they have to throw back at you. So, got to be aware of that. But Team 2 on this eastern side, here for Spectre Slave, pushing Team 1 back. Constantly on this eastern side. Signal Runner still has his base in the north, and Crusader Nova still holding strong, but there's a lot of forces still coming online. Lots of Harbingers. We see some bricks as well. Oh, and I didn't even go after what faction or what teams have which faction, but Team 1 does not have access to Aeon technology, and I think Team 2 does not have access to Seraphim technology because Cybran, Aeon, UEF, yeah. The Team 2 does not have access to Seraphim Tech, and Team 1 does not have access to Aeon Tech. To go over that in the intro. Apologies for that. But it's Percy's versus Bricks and Harbingers. I'm going to give it to the Percy's just due to the fact, again, high alpha damage. If you have 3 Percy's target 1 unit, you can essentially kill it, and all of the damage they did in that time frame is muted. There is a nice split attack here in the east, but there are a couple of T2 tanks online. It's a lot of Aurora, and they're charging in, and Aurora, of course, are weak just due to the hit points. The range is really good, but these are a lot of just T1 spam. Not really going to go anywhere. Not really a lot of mass either, so it's kind of just a net 0 for net positive a little bit for Signal Runner, but not by much. ASF's guarding the Harbingers and Bricks here in the east. And Crusader Nova builds his own experimental. It is the Fat Boy, of course. He is a UEF, which means that he will start forcing this lineup in the East back at least a little bit. Signal Runner says, same please. Same please for what? Fat Boy, question mark? This is lost. Same. Oh, Sam's please, not same please. And Saddleman does notice the Fat Boy was being constructed and is now finished. In this, how is the South going once again? It is a chicken versus 2 Colossus, and as I would have told that chicken, it did not go well. Had the Colossus stayed there, it would have been better. But now that there's some AA in the mix here, both Flak and T3, those Volthus do not stand a chance, especially with the ASS flying over the top. Yeah. As evidenced by the video, the scene you just saw, Volthus with a bunch of Flak and T3 AA, not a good idea. They do not have the hit point capacity to be able to withstand the amount of firepower. How is the air grid going? Separate air grid being built here as well. Love to see that. SMD coming online. Also, it's getting to about 30 minutes in this game. It's at 29 minutes. Team 1 and 2 need to start thinking about how to end it, not just survive. I do love as well Team 2's Spectre Slave constantly splitting forces off to go in different directions. I love and hate that. I love it because it annoys Team 1 and having to go, okay, now we have to deal with this attack and this attack. But it does reduce the main core force that he has built up. So he's going to launch one attack. It's going to be weaker than if, had not split them up kind of thing. More Corsairs go over the top. Some of those Othams trying to stave off this incoming threat. Maybe those Zui will... actually, those aren't Zui. Those are Fervors. Excuse me. Going to go after some T3 land facilities. Maybe able to get a couple of them, but maybe 7,000 hit points to chew through. Will it be enough? No, it won't. And see, all those units were killed off. It did delay reinforcements for this western side a little bit, but was it worth it? And my answer to that question is probably no. Probably not, no. We can do see now with the influence of that Fat Boy on that front line for Crusader Nova, he's creating a nice little exclusion zone. Essentially anything in the yellow ring will be attacked. And I love the pin says don't give free mass. That's actually for Team 1. And Team 1 in terms of reclaim, is that the right number? Yeah, Team 1's at 170,000. Team 2 at 100,000. Total mass accrued. Team 1 in the lead. Not just because of that, but it does play a significant part to the total mass accrued. Team 1 and 2 about producing the same amount of mass as well. Both comms, says Crusader Nova, so Team 1 has noticed where they are, and Giant Mechs in the east here does be mentioned by Signal Runner. I think that's to the engineers for Crusader Nova as well. The comm of Crusader has fallen back to the base here for Team 1's air player of Signal Runner, and both Signal Runner and Vinyl are in the water. Wonder what they're doing down there. Maybe they're just hiding what Team 2 is doing. Is Team 2 doing anything? No, they are not. The one advantage that Team 1 has, well, Team 2 I guess has it too, but it's not a commander, is that Team 1 can produce a Scathus underneath the water. Team 2 can do it too, but it's not on board that commander. So, because there's not a Seraphim commander, sorry, Cybran commander left, there's only Aeon and UBF. I think Sanoman was the only Cybran player. But nice buildup of bombers here for Hyper 2001. He has 21 of them online. That is definitely a minimum a snipe, if not 2 snipes, if you can split them off a little bit. The only comm available to be sniped by Strat Bombers is Crusader Nova, but if he stays there, he's building some PD to protect himself, but he could fall into the water, and then that kind of just goes a moot point anyways. We do see a nice group of units here for Team 1's Vinyl moving in from the middle, not from the southwest. The Colossus actually being re-diverted, falling back a little bit. Looks like there was a nice engagement here. 2 chickens, 2 Colossus. Looks like Team 2 again gets the better end of the deal with engineers already on site. Otham's moving into this production base, but it's facing some heavy resistance with some bricks here. The Strat Bombers going after the chicken have dropped it essentially to 0. And does look like, I think the Strat... Oh, let's see, who's going to get it? Looks like the Corsair got it. ASF fight here between Team 1 and Team 2. Team 1 having the better end of the deal with terms of the... Oh, how is the... it's kind of spread out. There's not those, like, small little confined circles that they're doing. I think Team 1's getting the better end of the deal with the ASF engagement. Yeah. There are some reinforcements here. I'm kind of like weird noises coming out of me. It's like the runner. Yeah, it's not going to be air dominance by any means. It's going to be a little bit more support, and the bombers do move into the east, fearing that those ASF will come in and kill them off. And again, that's a lot of bombers to lose. That's, what is that, 40,000 mass worth of bombers? That's a decent amount of bombers. And those ASF do find them from Team 1. Ooh, that is not good. This is bad here for Hyper 2001. 40,000 mass in bombers just being eradicated. He will be able to at least get some of that mass back, but it's all the time and effort that's not coming back. And not enough ASS were built to deter that. And all of the bombers were killed off, even the ones off screen. That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt Team 2's Hyper 2001's. That's just going to hurt. And I felt that. Like, it hurts. Colossus pushing one chicken. I don't know what the heck I said there. But pushing against one chicken. That chicken has to retreat. There's even a Colossus in the east. That fire base built way earlier on by Vinyl gets trampled over quite literally by those feet from the Colossus. We do see a nice wing of gunships over here. They're going to go after a couple of engineers. This would probably actually be the most beneficial here. Take out all of that line of engineers being built up. Deny Team 2 from scooping up all of that reclaim. Speaking of reclaim, at 34 minutes and 15 seconds, there is 235,000 reclaim. Essentially, you can build anything you want in the game with the mass on the map in total. But a lot of it does reside in the southwestern section of the map. A lot of it in the middle as well. But mainly it's essentially what is that, Quadrant 3? If you've taken, is it algebra that talk about the X and Y plane and the different quadrants? I think that's 3. Because I think one's one's here and then it goes clockwise. I think. Right? Maybe it goes counterclockwise. I can't remember. But anyway, the other one is 3 to be sure. Anyway, trying to throw a little bit of math in there. I'm not a math major by any means. I did get my degree in computer engineering, so I do have that. But it didn't require just calculus was the minimum. I took Calc 2 just because I needed another elective math credit, so I just took that. And it was essentially, they didn't really split it, but essentially if you took Calc 1 and you did pretty well, you could do pretty well in Calc 2. So, I mean, I got a B. I think I got a B. I don't remember what I got. Doesn't matter at this point. But, I mean, I passed the class, I got credit for it, and I graduated. So, I did good enough, essentially. But so Corsairs raining in onto this Colossus. It's pushing and going after some T3 mechs, being also chased by a chicken. But that's a lot of T2 support in the form of gunships and some fighter bombers here, those Corsairs. And the chicken does force the Colossus to turn around and face it. Oh, there's a couple of T3 mechs that could have gone after. And another T3 mechs. Oh, is it going to get the splash damage on this one? Will it? Yes, it will. So even in death, I still serve, says that Colossus. And technically, when I'm recording this, that video, if any of you watch the Warhammer 40K Chaos Gate Demon Hunters playthrough, that video released the day that I'm recording this. So the Thursday a week ago. Yeah. And the day that this video releases should be on that Sunday. The day, so it's the first day that I'm back in the States from my cruise. So again, I appreciate this. This is the past me talking to present you about future me, but I am grateful for all the comments about just everything. Thank you for the support in the 1000K video. Thank you for being patient with me as I work on these quality issues with my video and all of that. No one's really said anything about the audio besides the game being a little low, but I think that was just that one video. I have upped the audio from my mic a little bit, and I'm trying to figure out the best audio encoder for my mic setup. I have not the best Shure mic you can get, but the one below that, that's just a USB connection. Because the other one required an XLR connection, and I don't have the equipment for that, so I went the one step down. Anyway, not talking about setups and whatnot, we do see a nice line of Perseus coming in to try to go after those Colossus, which in normal circumstances would be fine, but the entire army of Team 2 just engulfed all those Percies. And maybe if the Percies in the west had grouped up with the east, it would have made a difference, but those Colossus are still on the high yellows. And, yeah, did not go the way that Crusader Nova thought that it would. But Team 2 pumping out Colossus constant. All this, nope, that's Team 1. Team 2 is down here. Colossus. Where are the fat boys? Team 2 has access to the UEF and Cybran tech. Are they not going after monkeys or crabs? I mean, crabs would be a huge help over here in the east. But moving that fat boy forward with 3 Colossus, not the best idea. Team 1 does have... it's a comparable air between Team 1 and Team 2. But T3 going online here for Signal Runner. And there... Oh, okay, there is a monkey. It's on Team 1 side of things. Why are you in the water? That's really weird. Why are you in the water? Just, you could be on the front lines. Why are you in the water? Signal Runner going for T3 on his... the engineering upgrade for his commander. Maybe he will build a scout this down there. There's some torp bombers, torp launchers there. Interesting. Anyway, spy planes over the top trying to get a nice readout. I do love, again, using the edges of the map. A lot of AA is being built up by Team 1's Crusader Nova to, again, lock out the air from Team 2. And is actually just constantly doing, again, ringed/layered defenses. Very, very important. If you can take out ASF before they can launch their bombs. Very, very nice. 1,000 mass, says Carlos. Yeah, that's a lot of mass, and it's in Team 1's favor. 4 chickens. 1, 2, 3. Soon to be 4 Colossi. That is a lot of firepower here for Team 2 and Team 1 in general. But I guess notice a fat boy down here. Okay, I didn't notice it. So Team 2's player of Hyperdoes, the 1 is going for fat boys. And has also built a Duke. First T3 artillery online, and is also doing satellites. Oh, so all he's missing is the Mavor and the Nuke. And having all of his eggs, not in one basket, but at least on his side of the map. Team 2 doesn't look like they're going for any sort of nukes as well. Or at least the other player on Team 2 is Spectre Slave. The artillery is focused on the air grid. Yep, it is, and it's taking a chunk of it out, to be fair. I never understood this. Why players wait so long to build shields for their air grid when you know that's going to be the main target if the other team gets artillery. I never understood that. I get that, you know, it's mass and energy being diverted to other sources, but the amount of mass and energy you're using to rebuild the air grid would be more than had you just built the shields to begin with. So I don't know why it's like that. I just have noticed a lot of players do that. I mean, you can't build air grids, especially if you get the mass still there. But I do love the separation of the air grid up here. There's no shields, so that's going to die very quickly, though. The runner needs to get that under control. The other thing I've noticed, and I've mentioned it probably in the last video, is the fact that all the projectiles are small, and all of the obviously the mass points are also small. So if anybody knows of a way to do that, I fixed the icons so you can actually see them. I did that before yesterday's video. Still haven't figured out the setting in FAF to be able to change that. Please let me know down in the comments. Again, this is in 4K. It's being dropped down to 1080p though. So if there's any rendering slash issues with that, that's probably where that's coming from. It's not as crisp as I would like it. Or, I mean, I tried to record in 4K and keep the video at 4K, and my OBS was lagging, like it was bad. So I had to keep it at recording at 4K, dropping it down, or outputting it at 1080p. If anybody knows of a different way to do it, please let me know, because the better content I can provide, the more you will enjoy it as a viewer, and the more likely that more people will enjoy it, which means hopefully more people will find FAF and the community will grow and all of that. So it's, you know, the better videos that I have, the better videos you enjoy, the more you want to watch. And, you know, it's kind of a nice, healthy cycle where it's all positive for everyone. But one Colossus engaging 3 chickens. 1 chicken is about to die. 2 of them severely healthy. But the Colossus is engaging them on their right sides and is now getting in behind them. I kind of like the nice little pan that I did there. The chickens now have to turn around. The Colossus not turning around And this chicken just being diverted over here. It's going after... Oh, just have it keep going. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a bunch of T3 mechs. Oh, no, but there's a Colossus to the east, and that's going to take that chicken out. And the Colossus do engage once again. Yeah, and the icons are also smaller. I don't know why. The scoreboard scaled perfectly fine, but for some reason, the native icons for FAF did not. So maybe that's the issue? I don't know. One Colossus does go down to an Ion Storm. Oh, you could have just sent that chicken in and taken out, like, at least another Colossus. Oh, getting a double dose of an Ion Storm. Oh, that's going to hurt. There it goes. The second Colossus dies to an Ion Storm, but 2 Colossus for 3 chickens. That's definitely the better end of the deal, just barely. That's 35,000 versus 30,000, so it's a little bit of a bump for Team 2, but I think Team 2 would have preferred to have the Colossus still alive and killed the chickens, but, you know, can't always get what you want all the time. Team 1 reclaimed 300,000. Team 2 at 158. Mass income 2.4K versus 1.2. That is a huge amount. Most of that from Team 1 actually coming from Vinyl. Most of that from Team 2 coming from Hyper, which would make sense because Hyper has 3 bases. But what is going on? Oh. Well, the thing that I talked about Team 1 doing, they are doing. Obviously, in the thumbnail, you noticed it. Because this was I technically didn't cheat. I recorded this video before, but the audio quality was, the video quality was really bad. So I know who wins. But it's always nice to, you know, try to cast as if I don't know what's going to happen. That's why I kind of hinted on it. And obviously by the thumbnail, you obviously saw it. So there is that. Awasa Bomber, dual Awasa Bomber over the top of this base here for Team 2's Hybrid 2001. Does take out a lot of those frontline defenses, but kind of misses a lot of those Colossi, to be fair. Oh, Awasa trying to get out of range of those ASFs. Actually, some ASFs coming out from Spectre Slave as well. There goes that bomber off the edge there. Second bomber looks like it died off screen. Neither player will get that reclaim, but it's, again, better than in Team 1's mind, it's better than Team 2 having it. And in Team 2's mind, thinking, oh, I wanted that mass. But 1, 2, 3, 4 chickens versus 1, 2, 3 Colossi with 2 Fat Boys. I mean, there is an Omni in there, but it's not that important. The chickens need to get into the middle of this lineup. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this. Those chickens attacking at range. One benefit of having a chicken is the fact that, of course, there is the Ion Storm that happens. Awasa gets killed off before it can even land its bomb. That's got to hurt. But the chickens are attacking just barely out of range of those Colossus, so I guess that's why they're sitting there. And somebody probably commented that in chat as I was talking about it. But I do realize my mistake. Chicken does move in, does not get close enough to really trigger that Ion Storm. Second Ion Storm does go off, and all those Harbingers did charge those chickens. And now there are 2 Fat Boys, again, just pumping out fire constantly. 1 Colossus still remains. I think the Colossus will die? Question mark. Let's check the hit points really quick. But the 2 chickens are still in the yellow, so I think that Colossus will die. But the Fat Boys, I think, will kill off those chickens as well. 45 minutes in this game. Don't need to know about the... I wish I could get rid of that. I do not need to know about how many mass fab farms there are, or mass fabs there are. I don't need to know. I just don't need to know. I'm very, I mean, it just blocks a little bit of the screen, but it's still annoying. You know, 4 satellites almost online here for Hyper 2001, and 2 artillery. Team 2 has a nice amount of long-range attack power. Team 1 is building a Duke, so they are trying to counter in that regard. Where are the lasers for... Oh, they're over here. They're over here going after the air grid, and more shields are being built constantly. That Scath is still, you know, just... chugging away. Does Team 2 know about it? Team 2 does not know about it. They know there's engineers down there. Maybe they'll assume that that's what's going on, but again, assumptions and how that all pans out and whatnot. But the chickens have now been officially killed off, but the Colossus as well. There are 3 Fat Boys still online on this southern edge. Actually, sorry, there's 1 chicken that does get away at least a little bit. And I think it actually can climb up here on this western side as well. It looks like it does split, so... there is that. But those Fat Boys are not really retreating. There's a bunch of T3 spam PD being built. Those Ravagers, again, protecting the Fat Boys. And those Fat Boys, That's the wrong player. Can hit most of that reclaim, so they're definitely going to deny all that, but there are some Volthu gunships inbound, and they're not building flak, so that's going to hurt. Oh, there's some flak on board the Fat Boys, but they're going after the AA first, and the ASF come in from Team 2 and just rip those gunships to shreds like they weren't even there. They breathed on them, and they all died. So definitely not the... I mean, I love the play, but the ASFs were just too fast to respond. So it didn't even matter. But Team 1 has pushed Team 2 Spectre Slave back in the east quite severely, back into his main base. There are 4 Colossi online here to the west. 2 of them down. There is 6 Colossi online. That is a lot of mass. Give you an idea, that's 165,000 mass in units. That is getting close to a Paragon's worth of mass. So it's not there yet, but it's definitely getting there. And the Fat Boys are pushing forward, and the Colossus are moving in to intercept. The Fat Boys need to start retreating, or they are DOA. Get off my lawn, said Spectre Slave. That thing is the perfect response to that. It's also funny that Crusader Nova is green, so lawns are... healthy lawns are green, so that definitely would fit the bill. First, Fat Boy does die. Both the other 2 get out of range. And the Colossi, they're in the yellow, but they're receiving a lot of fire from some Perseus. But again, 6 Colossi versus a couple of squads of Perseus. That fight's only ever going to go one way. They do get one of those Colossi, but again, all the mass and units that's right here, I don't think that was realistically worth the Colossus. And there's now a Fat Boy being... that should be gifted over here to Team 2 Spectre Slave, so we can mach through that a little better. But at least it's there on that side of the map. And it does look like some advanced preset commanders are just trying to reclaim. Chicken trying to charge. That's not going anywhere. 4 Fat Boys online. Oh, look, there's the bomber down here. I thought it was not on screen, but I guess it's still there. That is a lot of Ravager fire. That's a lot of Fat Boy fire. A nuke would solve that very, very, very easily. And there is no SMD down here. So there is that. Team 1, do you have a nuke launcher? No. They have some strats, though. That could take out a couple of stuff. But the satellites over the top for Crusader Nova, that honestly is a lot of shielding. 27 T3 shields. Do I see any T2s in there? He probably was upgraded from T2 to T3. I don't like the mass fabs here. Oh, and the shields are down. Oh, and they pop back online. Never mind. I got excited for a second for Team 2. There is... so, both artilleries and all 4 Novak satellites are raining in on one solitary location for Crusader Nova. He's taking a lot of the flak, quite literally and figuratively. Well, kind of literally. Not really figuratively. Figuratively, but not really literally. There is another satellite. The 5th one is online. SMD is loaded here with 1. That's not a lot loaded, to be fair. 4 loaded back here. If Team 1 has a nuke or a couple of them, that could be very bad news. They do have strats. And, we see some strats moving in the western side of things. I was going to have a nice little action scene, but that does not go well. 50 minutes in this game. How's that? Scath is progressing. It is in the yellow. Almost 50% of the way completed. Team 2 does not know about it because if they flew over it, maybe they paid attention. It won't stay on their radar due to the fact that it's out of Omni and sensor range. Well, it may not be actually out of sensor range. I do love this out from Team 1, though. It looks like there was a drop here by a couple of engineers spamming up T3 land facilities, pumping out T1 Medusa. But there are harbingers being directed to that side of the map. It does look like that Fat Boy has been gifted over. A good job on Hyper for not allowing, but having it be easier on his end for the APM to have his teammate of Spectre micro that, especially when it's on his side of the map, to be fair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th Fat Boy almost online. That is a lot of fatties. That's a lot of ice cream. Those Fat Boy sandwiches. Every time I say Fat Boy, that's kind of what my mind drifts to. Is those just nice? I mean, they're pretty big sandwiches. They're like, they're like the size of a Klondike bar. If anybody knows what a Klondike bar is, except the issue I have with Klondike bars is the fact that Immediately when you bite into them, you're on a timer on how fast you can eat that Klondike bar. Because I don't particularly like melted ice cream, and that ice cream melts very, very quickly. So I have to like, just like Minecraft eat a steak kind of thing, just like very, very quickly. It's good ice cream. It's a good sandwich. It's just I wish the thing didn't literally explode when I try to eat it. So that's my 2 cents between like a regular quote unquote regular ice cream sandwich versus a Klondike bar. The candy ice cream bar, like the Twix, the Snickers, those are good. They keep their shape relatively well. Not really a lot of issues with that. It's just the Klondike bar. I like, they're good. I like to eat them. I just don't like the way that I have to eat them to enjoy them. But that's just me though, and personal preferences and all that. But again, I would like to comment, charging headfirst in the 3 Fat Boys that are currently in retreat, not the best idea. But there is a Fat Boy on that Fat Boy's butt, and the shield is down. There are some parashields surrounding it. I would assume that some of these, honestly, these mobile factories should be producing shields just to protect themselves from artillery fire, especially from the Fat Boy. Oh, maybe we'll see the strats move. I don't think they get spotted by Team 2. They just see the ASFs right now. They're actually on stealth mode, which is very nice. If they can take out the Omni, that'd be the best scenario. Omni is down here, and I think that's the only Omni. There should be a backup Omni. Nuke online in the least here. The Apocalypse Strategic Missile Launcher here from the Aeon player of Spectre Slave 137. It is loading. It isn't loaded yet, but it is loading. Is Team 1, how's that Scathus doing? It's still in the yellow. How's the artillery? Artillery's still online. Don't know how. Again, with all that artillery fire and lasers. They've actually diverted to other targets. That's probably why. Bombers keep running around. I think they want to divert the attention of the ASF away so that they can either go after maybe the artillery or the Novaxes are kind of spread out, so maybe not. The 6th one is completed. It has to be given orders to go to the front. 5 Fat Boys are online, and that is a lot of ground fire. 1 chicken. They're hunting SMD, says Vinyl. Oh, they're talking about the SMDs, the Novaxes. See, that's good that you're taking them out now. The only problem with that is the nuke is not loaded. It's almost loaded, but it isn't loaded yet. And because it isn't loaded yet, it does give Team 1 a little bit of time to build another SMD. There is one up here, and it has 6 SMDs loaded. This one underneath a lot of shield coverage. It isn't loaded, but it's being built pretty quickly. Does look like a Crusader Nova needs a little bit more power. Yeah, it needs a little bit. Again, don't know how to fix that. This has to do with the screen size and all of that. But you can see the 5 satellites inbound for that little tiny SMD. That is not going to feel good. Is there another backup SMD up here? No. Is there any more? There is being one built right here. There is one right here. And I think Vinyl is just going to spam out SMD to be done with it. How's that Scathus doing? It is in the green. It's getting closer by the second. 54 minutes and 32 seconds. Team 2, again, holding strong in the southwest with 5 Fat Boys and a ton of mass. That Team 1 and Team 2 could probably go grab it, to be fair, but they're at least denying it for Team 1. 478,000 mass, almost 500,000 mass currently still on the field. That is a ton of mass to scoop up. That is enough for, again, essentially 2 of anything in the game.
Strategic launch detected.
There is the nuke launch, and the tiny, tiny little icon here for the nuke launch. The giant missile for the tiny little icon. You can barely even see it. I actually kind of can see it better on the mini-map than I can on the actual screen, or the main viewing screen. But it's going to launch. Oh, on top of the Fat Boys. Oh, there it goes. Kaboom! And forget your Fat Boys to Spectre Slave. Oof. Nice one. Man, why the hostility, says Crusader Nova. Yeah, it's just kind of hostile a little bit. I mean, maybe motions are heated and stuff, and the game has probably been going on for, probably at least an hour and a half, so just had to get it out there. Spectre Slave. I don't know about that, but not towards. Oh, okay, that's good. Not towards you. I just hate. Ah, see, that's the problem. It's not him. It's the fat boys. So that's good, at least. Yeah, you do know I'm a pop in that Discord rat for this and make you feel guilty. I have no sense of guilt. That was funny. That got a nice chuckle out of me. I didn't catch that the last time I watched casted this, so I didn't catch that last part. That is really funny. But the strats are inbound. I'm actually going to slow it down a little bit for this part. They are inbound. That is a lot of revenants going for that artillery. Pings do go down for Team 2. The ASF are probably being mobilized as we speak. ASF going to engage for Team 1. Strats are inbound. Not a lot of shielding surrounding those Dukes. Oh, it's not going to... ASF do come in, and the bombs are splitting up at least a little bit. They're going to get all 3 of those Dukes, and the artillery is down. The Novax is still pose a threat, but that is one major issue to deal with after another. Look at that. He is building the nuke launcher as we speak. Strats going after SMD. Maybe? No, looks like they're going after Novaxes. They're not going to get to them. But that was a lot of mass killed off. One strat bomber survives, but that's not going to do much to the shielding here. And is the Scathus online? Yes, it is. And it is pumping out shots as we speak, puncturing those shields for Team 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Colossus pushing that front line. One Fat Boy now online and is in full retreat. Attack in the south. Strat bombers coming in here from Team 1's Vinyl, going after some Fat Boys. ASF come in and take out the rest of those, but taking at least one of them down. A lot of those chickens did not make it. Actually, a lot of the one chicken. Those are the dead bodies from earlier. And it is now 57 minutes in this game. SMD still online. SMD still online. Nuke still online for Team 2. Team 2 is not out of this just yet. That Scathus is, again, a huge problem for Team 1 to deal with. Sorry, for Team 2 to deal with. The Novax is not going after the Scathus, going after literally everything else than that. Looks like it's resetting its charge, or resetting its position. All of the Pigeons, most of them are down here for Signal Runner. And the Calm of Crusader Nova is actually out in the open. I think 6 satellites should be able to kill one Crusader Nova in one fell swoop. And it does look like shells do land. And Team 2 just says, I'm done. I don't think I'll be able to kill off that Scathus, which means Team 1 wins the game. The artillery shells were about to impact on those satellites. I mean, if Team 2 was able to get the shields up fast enough to protect them, I mean, to be fair, they are, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are severely wounded, and one of them is at half health. So one volley more probably would have done them in. Anyways, there are some strat bombers running around as well. Not going to get through the ASF, though. In the south, huge line of defenses. Team 1 was not going to break that anytime soon, besides a nuke. Team 1 did have 2 Dukes online, so they did have that shooting at stuff on Team 2 side of the map. So with 2 Dukes, a Scathus, which, to be fair, the Scathus shielding is down. So, I don't know. I feel like there was a path to victory for Team 2. It was just a lot harder to get there than Team 1's victory was. But let me know down... Oh, yeah, and MVPs and MUPs did not pick that out just yet. Vinyl, I think, with the double kill early on and the constant pressure on the south side, he did a great job. It was very back and forth, and then he finally pushed back. He kept Team 2 at bay from expanding on the ground side of things, at least on the southern side. We had the nice strat bomber play outbound from Signal Runner. He was very solid, very, no real issues. I did like the base in the east, though, that he had. The strat bomber play definitely assisted with the victory for sure. And, of course, the Scathus definitely cemented that as well. I don't know. It's a toss-up between Vinyl and Signal Runner. I don't know who to give it to. Both of them contributed massively. And Crusader Nova, too. He held off Team 2's Spectral Slave for a long time. It's really hard to give it to one player. So I want to know down in the comments who you think deserves MVP or MUP. I don't think there's any MUPs, most underrated players. mainly just most valuable player. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment down what your favorite moment of the video was. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Again, thank you so much for watching. And of course, tomorrow's video will be recorded today as of releasing this video. So again, it is back to normal scheduling. Thank you so very much for being patient with me and all that. And I will see all of you in the next one.